I will record some video about things that I like. 5 things that I like with my BMW 750 and 5 things that I don't like or like less. But we start with 5 things that I like. I'm not at bike now, as you can see. I'm out and walking in a place called Nikkaluokta in Sweden. You have to remember that I compare with my other bike, and because of that it can be things that are pretty standard on almost every bike today, but things that I don't have on my old bike. So we start with number 1, gear indicator. It's a very small thing. It's actually nothing important to have, but it's very convenient when you have it. It's very nice to see when you are in highest gear and which gear you are in when you reach a circulation place, roundabout, for example, so you know that you have right gear. Yes, that was number 1. And number 2 is cruise control. Cruise control, it's also a thing that's actually no big deal, but when you have it, I say it's just go up to right speed and set the cruise control and let the bike handle the speed.
Cruise control. First you have to take off this little bigger button to the right and then push the smaller button forward. Here is where you can see that it's activated. This little green light is on.
When you are riding for a little longer touring trips, it's very nice, I can say. That's one thing that I like that I not have on my old bike. And number 3, a luggage rack, luggage rack, and possibility to use panniers. Also something that not comes as standard on the Yamaha Bolt. And on touring and for longer trip, it's very nice to be able to have some luggage capacity. So the possibility to add luggage on the bike is number 3, I think. And what's number 4? Now it starts to get a little harder. But I will say suspension. Even though the F750GS doesn't have any advanced suspension or any suspension for off-road riding, I can tell you that the suspension on the GS is way better than the suspension on the Bolt, because on paved road with a little bumps in the surface, the suspension on the Yamaha Bolt tend to bottom out, but on the GS I can ride on much harsher road than with the Bolt, I can say. Absolutely. And then number 5, the last thing for now, the fuel capacity. 15 liter on the 750GS, not very much. 12 liter on the Bolt. And the fuel consumption is about the same when you travel up to 90 kilometers per hour. Above that, the fuel consumption rise on both bike, I guess. But 15 liters, very small fuel tank on a touring bike, but the consumption is not so high. When I ride on the latest trip we made, not a long trip, but about 800 kilometers, I filled up with petrol, and the consumption was about 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's pretty good. So actually the range is above 400 kilometers if you take it easy when you ride, of course. And on that trip there was some part where we ride over 100 kilometers per hour, but of course most of the trip was 80 kilometers per hour. So if you ride around 80-90 kilometers per hour, you will get a range of 400 kilometers and maybe above. Yes, that was 5 things that I like with the F750GS.